In this video, I want to continue working on the wall weapon, primarily the visual effect of what happens when you buy it. So for example, what I want to happen is the wall weapon to be hidden by default. Then when someone buys it, I want it to unhide and start sliding through the wall until it gets to a specific point. So now that that is said and out of the way, let's begin. So to start, let's go to our wallWeapon.h and open up our motion component. So we're going to use this to handle pretty much the replication side of things. And the wall weapon is just going to basically respond to, well, the motion component. So to begin, let's add the component to the wall weapon. So T object pointer, U motion component. Let's forward declare it and just call it the motion component. Next up, go to the constructor, and we want to create default subobject of U motion component and include it. Okay, once we have our motion component, we can go ahead and pretty much set whatever info we need on it in onBundlesLoaded. So for example, here we have a set motion component data, which takes in 2 curves and a length. So let's go to our wall weapon and go to our definition here. And what we want is a property that is going to define kind of the purchase movement. So let's add a U property, and we will do a T object pointer of a U curve vector. So let's forward declare, and this will be the, let's just call it the movement. Let's call it the purchased movement curve. So I think that name kind of makes sense. Then inside of the wall weapon and onBundlesLoaded, let's go ahead and grab the motion component and set the motion data. So the motion data for the location is simply going to be the wall weapon data. We want the purchased movement curve, and then for the rotation we can just do a null pointer, and then the length we need to also define. So let's add another U property and call this one the float movement curve length. We'll just set it to 0 by default. So let's grab our wall weapon data and pass in our movement curve length. So real quick, I want to check the barricade component to see where we're doing that in here, just to make sure, which it should be in the onBundlesLoaded, which it is. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure of that. So now that we have that configured, we can actually make use of it. So what we want to do is inside the interact, if the weapon is purchased, we want to go ahead and basically just grab the motion component and start it. So start motion. And that's pretty much it. The only thing we want to do is make sure that we're not calling this multiple times. We want to call it once and only once. So what we want to have happen is make another bool. So bool B has been purchased by anyone. So we'll just call it false, or set it to false by default. And in the case of this, if this is false, we want to start motion for the motion component, and we also want to set it to true. That way, this only runs once for the server. So now that we have that, what we can do is in the motion component, we have 2 delegates, on motion started and on motion complete. So what we can do is instead of having replication being done in the wall weapon actor, we can just utilize these 2 delegates to trigger the motion, as well as waking it up and all that kind of stuff. So let's see, where we're doing that in the barricade. We're doing that inside of begin play. So let's go to the wall weapon, go to begin play, grab the motion component, and we want to grab the on motion started. So we want to add dynamic. So this for the object and a wall weapon, and let's call it on motion started. So we'll keep it, consistent. Then duplicate it and have on motion complete and another function called on motion complete. So now we can just make two functions. So U function void on motion complete and U function void on motion started. So we can make definitions for both of these like so, and check begin play. So we are good to go. So when the wall weapon is created, we are going, or on begin play anyways, we're going to bind to on motion started and on motion complete. So at any point in time, when the motion has been started, that means someone has bought the wall weapon. So we want to start the process, and more specifically, we want to unhide the firearm mesh. So what we're going to do in the constructor is grab the weapon mesh component, and by default, we are going to set it hidden in game. On motion started, we're going to set the weapon mesh component, set hidden in game to false. So that way, by default, it is hidden. When the motion/movement starts, we unhide it. And that's basically it for now. So I think client side, we don't actually need to bind to on motion complete. Instead, on motion complete in our case is going to be used for probably, I would say, setting the actor back to dormant. So I'm going to wrap this in a has authority check, so it only binds on the server. So if has authority, then we bind to on motion complete. So now we can close down the editor, recompile, relaunch, and just, see what happens. Alrighty, so once we are back in the editor, let's go ahead and go to our data asset for the wall weapon. So here we have the curve, which we need to make, and we have the movement curve length. So let's see. Select the weapon mesh component. Make sure we are in relative space. So either way, we are. So we need to move it on the x-axis. So let's make a new curve. So here we have temp location curve. Let's just make a new one, and we'll move it later. So a new curve vector, and let's call this one C underscore firearm, or let's do wall weapon purchased curve, or just wall weapon purchased, because this is going to be a kind of universal. So let's go ahead and add a keyframe because we want the x-axis, and that's going to be the last one we grab. So we add a keyframe for the x, and let's go ahead and just add a value so we can bump it up. Okay, so by default, let's see roughly how far we want to move it. So I'm going to do just a quick test, and we'll say, screw it, we'll just do like 50 units or something. So we'll set the value to 50. So let's set this in the curve and set the movement curve length to 1.1, which was the length of the curve. So press play. Here, let's do as a listen server first. So as you can see, it is hidden. Then we press F to buy, and it unhides. So it didn't actually start the movement. So we have 0 to 1. Let's see what the other curve looks like for the door. So we have, over the course of 2.5 seconds, we are going a negative 250 units. So for some reason, this did not seem to actually move. So let's try to see why. So on bundles loaded, we are setting the motion data. So let's check set motion data. So we're just setting that there, so that's fine. And it just occurred to me that we never actually set which component we want to move. So this is controlled through the motion controlled component tag, which is defined here. So what we need to do is give our wall weapon mesh component this tag. So let's go to our wall weapon.cpp, find the weapon mesh component, and we want to add, so weapon mesh component, add a tag or a component tag. So component tags.add, and we want to add the motion controlled component tag. So now when we give it a try, it should actually go through and move just the mesh. Okay, once we are back in the editor, let's give this another try. So we buy the weapon, and as you can see, it went out roughly 50 units. So as a test, let's grab the weapon mesh component, and let's just move it, I don't know, somewhere in the middle of the wall. So let's see, we need to move 10 units out. So we're going to leave it 10 units in the wall. Let's set the curve to a value of 10, and we'll just set the length to 1. So within a second, it's going to move 10 units. So let's set the curve length to 1 and give it a try. So we press F, and there is a slight problem. So currently, it is starting from basically the world origin. Well, not the world origin, the relative origin of the component. So it is basically resetting itself to 0 and then moving along the x-axis. So we need to make some improvements to the motion component to resolve this. In the meantime, let's just continue with the logic as if it was working as we want. So as a client, we buy it, and there we have it once we received the replication. So that is working there. Now what we want to do is work on the actual dormancy/efficiency settings, which will also actually improve the responsiveness at the same time. So in the wall weapon, we have our constructor, where I actually commented in a previous video to set the dormancy to initial. So let's set the net dormancy to be dorm_initial. So once we have that, so just like we're doing in the barricade, actually I want to set the raw value of net dormancy. I don't know if that's what other side effects that has. So what we want to do is where we actually purchase it, which means we wake it up, we want to set it to awake. So we want to set net dormancy to be dorm_awake. Now this happens server side, and this should make it pretty responsive. So it goes ahead and basically just replicates kind of everything right from the get-go. Well, the next go around anyways. So in our case, once that happens, we also on motion complete want to put it back to sleep. So set net dormancy to be dorm_dormant all. Because at this point, there is no more replication to be done. So we can recompile and relaunch, and we should be good to go. So basically, this actor is going to be completely dormant until someone buys it. So it's not going to be considered for replication. Then when someone buys it, it is going to be woken up just enough so the replication can actually, handle the movement component and all that. And once it has finished moving, the server will then put it back to dormant. So it is no longer going to be, considered for replication after that. So let's give this a try. So as a client, let's just see what the responsiveness is like now. So we press F, and as you can see, that was actually pretty responsive. So it took a lot of that delay out, even though we have a, net update frequency of a value of 1. So that is good to go. So now I want to try something. So I want to try as standalone with Yeah, we'll just hit play like this. So I'm going to start up a listen server. So open notched dir untoten underscore listen and buy the STG. So now that it has been purchased on this guy, I want to join. So open 127.0.0.1 to connect with the loopback address. And as you can see, everything is replicated like it's supposed to be. So that was just a quick little test there, but we have our wall weapon set up. So in the next video, what we're going to end up doing is modifying the motion component to better support basically starting from a moved origin. So instead of the wall weapon snapping back to here and then start moving, we want it to start moving all the way, if I can even select it, all the way from inside this wall, good grief, from inside this wall instead. So that's going to be all for this video, and I will see you in the next one. If you like what I'm doing and you want to help support me, you can find a link to my Patreon in the description below, where you can also get early access to this entire series.